Have you ever got to a point where you've woken up on a Monday morning and just thought, I don't like doing this anymore? You could be experiencing the early signs of burnout. So let's talk about it. Burnout is a very serious problem. It happens to so many people. The biggest issue, though, that I see is that we don't know that we are burnt out until we are properly burnt out. It is a very common thing, and particularly with entrepreneurs, particularly those of you who run your own businesses, where the weight of running your business is literally on your shoulders every single day. It's you that's the one that has to go out there and win the clients. It's you the one who has to go out there and deliver the work and do all the admin and everything else that might be going on in your business. And it's very easy to put up with health issues until they come up and actually hit you very hard in the face one day. It's very easy to think that burnout actually is our fault. But when you start to recognize the kind of business that you have built, one of the things that might actually be happening is it's your business that is fault. You are working way harder, or maybe just not in flow. You're doing stuff that actually you're not quite sure how you got into. What ended up working with that particular client? How did you start creating a business like this? We find ourselves buying into business solutions and funnels and cookie cutter process and systems that seem to work really well for one person, but when we put it into our business, it just grinds against us. So this is one thing I want you to start to recognize, that actually it might be the way that your business is designed, which is affecting the way that you are working, which is causing your path to burnout. This also leads to a problem of addiction to busyness. Yeah, I do believe it's a thing. I've had it, I still have it. I have a work hard story that I've been playing out most of my life. I mean, I see it now and I recognize it much quicker today, but it still creeps up on me, is that the way that I have lived my life, both at school, going through college and early career path, right through to running my own business, is that a story that I have lived my life is that for me to get results, I have to have worked hard for it. And this addiction to busyness, that we are expecting ourselves to be productive, that means that we are successful. And we look about everything that we have around ourselves, our phones that we carry around with us all day, and maybe some of you even sleep with it at night, just keeps increasing the levels of productivity, the expectation that we expect people to respond back to emails within a couple of hours, instant messaging, being able to get things delivered within 2 or 3 hours. The levels of productivity expectations that we all have around us now are super fast. And these are some of the other things that might be contributing to the way that you are working and the way that you are running and living your business. I've got my own burnout story. I'm not proud of it, but it is part of my story. And it links back to hormonal changes, menopause shifts. The straw that broke the camel's back, though, was losing my dad at the age of 40. I didn't deal with the grief very well. And it was a bit of one of those perfect chemical hormone storms where at the age of 42, I really had enough. And I literally couldn't get out of bed one weekend. The journey from that recovery from that was long and, quite frankly, quite hard. If I'd seen the signs beforehand, I probably could have saved myself many years, but it's a journey that I still had to go on. I'm now 53. I feel the best I have done for a very, very long time, but there was about 4 or 5 years where my health was not good, and it affected the way that I was dealing with my business. Now, one of the things, as I mentioned already, is the way that your business is designed for you. I had to take a very hard look at not just the way that I was living my life and what I was eating and how I was fueling myself and exercise and supplements, but also the way that I was working. I realized that the business I had was actually fueling and making my conditions worse. I'd created a digital business. I loved all the tech and creating funnels, but it was feeding my adrenals. It would put me on a high energy and it was exhausting me. So I had to take a real hard look about the way that my business was operating. And it meant I had did a huge change in my business and moving away from running a big membership site and doing lots of fast and furious marketing campaigns to settling into creating more sustainable programs. And boy, am I so pleased I did it, because the business I have today is very different than it was 10 years ago. And it is so much more fulfilling, so much more rewarding. And it gives me not just time and energy for myself, but a real sense of fulfillment and space for me to feel that I can actually look after myself and have a successful business. One thing to look out for is your battery. Now, you might say, well, I haven't got a battery. Well, the energy that's in your business. Now, I always like to compare it to your phone battery. For those of you, which I'm guessing all of you, have got some kind of smartphone, what happens when that battery light starts getting down to that 20%? Do you know it starts to turn red and you get a warning saying you only got 20%, now you only got 10%. How many times do you feel okay with it? Most people, myself included, as soon as that red light comes in, you're rushing around trying to find a battery, trying to find somewhere to plug it in. Even if you're on a train somewhere, you've got to get it charged up. We don't have that in our bodies. We do not have a little red light that comes on to say, warning, you're down at 20%. So we really have to be in tune with our bodies and recognize those symptoms way, way faster than waiting for that proverbial 20% red alarm button. It's really difficult to do that when we are super busy, when we are going from week to week, trying to cram in as many things as possible. And very often we start running our weeks from our head, being very logic, and what I would call being a head on a stick. That's where I was 10 years ago, of everything was logic driven and very much focused on what have I got to do next. It's all the doing energy. When we are living our lives like that in our business, it's very difficult to feel where our health symptoms are coming from. And it's why often where people go, God, I didn't realize I was so ill until I literally was ill and I had to fall into bed and do nothing for several weeks. When you actually look back, you would have seen the symptoms, but because you're so busy and you're so many things going on, it's very difficult to recognize it. So slow yourself down, find those moments to connect into, I call everything below your head, your heart brain and your gut brain. Whether that might be, it could be yoga, it could be meditation. Some people might roll their eyes going, oh, not this. Sometimes it's just a walk in nature. Sometimes it's taking the time to read a fiction book rather than a business book. Sometimes, as I learned, is about going on a walk without listening to the latest podcast and having other people talking in your ears and just going for a walk in nature. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive, but slowing down does actually speed up your success. It's one of the things that I have seen from my personal experience and has made a huge difference to me over the last 10 years. And it's what we help our clients do on a day-to-day basis. They often come and start working with us and there's lots of stuff going down, and slowing down just feels, what are you trying to do to me? But when we start to slow people down, they start to catch their breath. Not only does it help their burnout potential problems, but you start to recognize and see the opportunities in your own business. Brilliant people like yourself who have got brilliant ideas, often coming out of your heads every single minute of every single day. You need to have structure to be able to support that, because brilliant people with brilliant ideas are often one of the first people to start burning out. That high energy input has nothing else left to do when you actually run out of that battery power within you. One of the very first steps that we recommend people take is come and have a look at our business scorecard. You'll find the link below this video. It's a really great place to start seeing where those potential burnout spots are happening in your business, both in the way that you deliver your programs and be able to scale up and work with more clients, the way that you're attracting the sorts of clients that you actually are working with so you can get better rewarding work, and also how well your business is set up to help you thrive rather than actually send you on the path to burnout. So check out the scorecard. Simple few questions to answer and you'll get a free report directly into your inbox. The best part about that business scorecard is it's absolutely free. Remember, love to have you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.